So let's check. As I said, spherical harmonics is the solution of Schrodinger equation, wherein that solutions gives us the shapes of different orbits. Now how to come arrive this, how to go for this analysis, that we will do here. In quantum mechanics we actually do all these things. In quantum mechanics, when we solve Schrodinger equation for hydrogen atom, we come across this type of spherical harmonics. But here in mathematical methods of physics, we are interested more in getting this idea of spherical harmonics and how it is used in the Schrodinger's equation and so on. Okay, now let's start with this. The time independent Schrodinger equation is, some of you may be able to write this, time independent Schrodinger's equation. Schrodinger's equation is, okay, let's write this form. This equation is given by minus h cross square upon twice m into del square into wave function psi plus, this time it is a potential, v psi is equal to, this is e psi. Okay, this is time independent Schrodinger equation. All we know this equation from TYBSc2. Now same equation if it is written, now let's express this Schrodinger equation in the spherical polar coordinate system by replacing del square as well as its that means let's replace this Laplacian in the Cartesian. This is the equation, Schrodinger equation written in the Cartesian coordinate system, where E is the energy, V is the potential, that h square upon twice m, that is the coefficient here, and del square is the Laplacian operator. So this actually h cross square upon twice m into del square is the momentum operator that is operated on that psi, and that gives you this equation which is called as Schrodinger's time independent equation. This expression is expressed in the Cartesian coordinate system. Now let's write this equation in the just this same equation. The same equation in spherical polar coordinate system. Spherical polar coordinate system. Can write this equation as, how to write? Express this del square in the given spherical polar coordinate system. This equation becomes minus h cross square upon twice m as it is. It is 1 upon r square sine theta. This is product called as 1 upon h1 h2 h3, if some of you remember this. Then first term is deva upon deva r in the bracket r square sine theta multiplied by deva psi upon deva r. This is my first term in the del square, plus second term is deva upon deva theta of sine theta into deva psi upon deva theta. This is the second term, and actually this is square bracket, plus deva upon deva phi in the bracket, it is 1 upon sine theta multiplied by deva psi upon deva phi. This is the last term in the Laplacian. So this is the Laplacian operator. Okay, from this onward, 1 upon r square sine theta is the Laplacian operator. This is operated on this wave function psi, and plus I can take this right hand term on the left hand side, so it becomes capital V minus E into psi is equal to 0. This is equation 2. I have just rearranged this equation in such a manner that I'll get right hand side to be equal to 0. So left hand side is del square, which is expressed in the spherical polar coordinate system, and V minus E, because V and E have same dimensions, so that can be subtracted from each other. So V minus E into psi is equal to 0. Now in principle, okay, here in this case, in principle this V is a function of r theta and phi. V is a function of r theta and phi. Okay, but here in hydrogen atom because of spherical symmetry. Spherical symmetry, what is that? This is the atom or the nucleus, and here these are the orbits. So from this, the potential of this is positively charged nucleus with negative charged electron, and whatever potential exists between this electron either in first orbit, second orbit, etc., that potential is just dependent upon the distance from the nucleus. That's why it is called as only R dependent potential. R dependent potential. This is the case of symmetry or R dependent potential. There is no, that means V is a function of R only. V is not, potential is not a function of theta and phi. This is called as symmetry. This is the symmetry. But here in the hydrogen atom, because of the spherical symmetry, V, potential V is function of R only, R parameter, only one parameter. R is a function of, V is a function of R only. Okay, and if this is the case, this is the case that I know that V is a function of small r only, it is not a function of theta and phi. Now I can separate this Schrodinger equation or above equation in such a manner, only r part will be separated and theta and phi part will be together. So see the case, what we have to do, since I know that V is not a function of theta and phi, I can separate out this earlier equation or Schrodinger equation in such a manner which will be separated for r only. Okay, so let's separate Schrodinger equation. Let's separate Schrodinger's equation. Schrodinger's equation. Schrodinger equation in radial, okay, radial and angular part. Okay, so let's separate the Schrodinger's equation in radial and angular part. Radial means r part, angular means theta and phi part. As we know that V is a function of small r only, it is a spherically symmetric potential. It doesn't depend upon theta and phi, where you are stand on that orbit. Theta and phi doesn't count any on the potential, so potential is symmetric, and that's why I can separate out this hydrogen equation or Schrodinger equation in the radial and angular part as follows. Okay, so let's go for this, and therefore I am writing this solution psi r theta phi is a solution of this type. Now r is special function of small r, and there is another function y which is depend upon theta and phi. Okay, so last time we had written psi is a function of r of r, capital theta of small theta, and capital phi of small phi. Okay, this is what we remember in the last case. In the last derivation we have written this psi to be a function of product of three independent functions r, theta and phi. Here I am taking this psi r theta phi is now a product of only two functions, out of which capital R depends upon small r only, that is called as a radial function, radial solution, and y of theta phi is now another function which is exclusively dependent upon theta and phi. There is no r dependence in y of r theta phi, y of theta phi. There is no theta and phi dependence over this r. So now try to understand. In earlier case we have taken three independent functions, here we are taking two independent functions, and as a fact here the potential provided is such that it's a spherical symmetric potential. Therefore psi of r theta phi is equal to capital R into small r multiplied by capital Y of theta phi. Okay, now use this particular thing to separate our equation. So write this psi of r theta phi in our equation 1. So this psi, here psi can be written as capital R into capital Y. This is also written as capital R into capital Y, capital R into capital Y, and divide this equation by again psi, that is equal to R into phi. So the same treatment what we follow here in case of the method of separation of variable, that is what we have to do. Substitute this psi of r theta phi by ry and divide this entire equation by psi, that is equal to ry. We get, so right here substituting substituting psi is equal to capital R into y. Okay, so their independent functions are known to us, and dividing by psi is equal to R into y. Okay, equation 1, this is what equation 2, I think. Yeah, equation 2. We have to carry out this operation in equation 2. Same method what we did yesterday, that implies or that gives you following things, that separates out these as things as follows. So we get this is 1 upon R. Okay, you have to carry out this in between of part. Okay, this is d by dr. Now single dependence, that's why curly letter gets converted to d by dr in the bracket. Now what is this? This bracket gives you as usual it is small r square into d capital R upon small dr. This is my first term, minus twice m upon h cross square into capital V of small r minus capital E into small r square, that is equal to, this is r part separated gets this way, and the right hand side becomes minus 1 upon sine theta okay. So minus 1 upon sine theta, then this is 1 upon capital Y, just like R comes here, this capital Y comes here, into dabba upon dabba theta. Now this is curly delta because there is a function, Y is a function of theta and phi, so these are partial derivatives. Dabba of dabba theta into sine theta multiplied by dabba Y upon dabba theta, Y capital, minus 1 upon sine square theta into again 1 upon y, separating this variable will get this, into dabba square of capital Y upon dabba phi square, and this time we are taking this to be equal to L into L plus 1. This is again the requirement of the problem, where the left hand side is an exclusive function of small r, right hand side is function of theta and phi. Both of these sides will be equal only when both of these sides are equal to some numerical constant. This form of the constant we are giving here is L into L plus 1, and not like L square or not like m square and so on. So this is the form I am taking here. So we can solve this equation. So I can get, first equation is 1 upon r times d by dr into r square into dr upon small dr minus twice m upon h cross square in the bracket v of small r minus capital R into r square. Okay, and this r can be taken, okay, everywhere. This r is product of this, r is multiplicated to, yeah, this can be separated as, okay, I can take this r here, this r can be cancelled from this, I can write this to be r of small r, and this L into L plus 1 is a positive, it can be taken here, so it is minus L into L plus 1 into r of small r is equal to 0. This is called as r part equation. This is the r part equation, okay. And remember, we are not going to get solution of this, we are not interested in its solution at present. Okay, why? We are more concentrated on this. Give number to this equation number 3. This right hand side part of this equation 3, that is what we are interested here, theta phi. We are not interested in its solution. R parts equation चा solution मध्ये आपल्याला आता फारसा रस नाही आहे. And remaining thing, this is called as a radial. Okay, so this is the radial part solution. Radial. And now, okay, angular. Angular equation gives you, this is the format here. I'll get this to, now left hand side is earlier both of these terms are negative. या equation मध्ये, in above equation this is negative, and this will be positive. So taking all this here, it will also become negative, and negative, that will get cancelled, and will get positive equation, entire positive equation as follows: 1 upon sine theta into dabba upon dabba theta in the bracket, again sine theta multiplied by dabba theta of capital Y of theta phi. Okay, I am not writing simply Y, it is capital Y of theta phi, and divide by dabba theta, first term here, plus second term is 1 upon sine square theta into dabba square capital Y of theta phi, divide by dabba phi square, and taking this L into L plus 1, it is become negative, and making everything positive, I'll get it is L into L plus 1 into Y of theta phi is equal to 0. This is the angular part, and we are interested here. Solution of this is nothing but our spherical harmonics. Okay, we are interested there. That is equal to 0. Now we'll write in explicitly of this. The solution of this angular part, the solution of this angular part, are the spherical harmonics, Okay, try to understand from Schrodinger equation what we did. We have taken form of the potential which is exclusively dependent upon radial part or R part. I have separated Schrodinger equation for R part and theta and phi part. Now theta and phi part solution, or that is angular solution, or this angular part equation is given by 1 upon sine theta dabba upon dabba theta into this bracket, and so thing. So in this particular separation, I have used constant to be L into L plus 1 of the form, and solution of this differential equation is nothing but the solution, and that is called as the spherical harmonics. Okay, and here this solution is given by YLM. Okay, not YL only. Now this is YLM. M is, now this is going to be related to this the part that is magnetic quantum number, and L is related to this orbital quantum number. So remember, try to remember this. This is theta and phi. Y of Lm theta phi is given by some constant, that is n, normalization constant. Now this is Im phi. This is the solution which is called as phi part solution, and the solution of the remaining part is Plm of cos theta, and this is what your associated Legendre polynomial. Not Legendre polynomial, it is associated Legendre polynomial. This is 5-part solution, and this n is called as normalization constant. So try to understand from where we get this concept of spherical harmonics. So this is a requirement of solution of Schrodinger equation in case of what we call in case of spherical polar coordinate system. So that try to understand how this angular part comes and how we come across this spherical harmonics. Okay, now this constant n can be determined by using again same conditions which we have used several times in quantum mechanics as well as statistical mechanics or some other branches of physics. The constant n, normalization constant n, capital N, can be calculated by using orthogonality condition. So we are going to treat, or we are going to see the orthogonality condition of the associated Legendre polynomial 2. Same condition we are using here. Actually we have not learned that things, but we are going to learn it in the further lecture. So here this condition is given by, now this variable theta varies from 0 to pi, variation of theta, and phi varies from 0 to twice pi. So this is theta and this is for phi, this variation. in the spherical polar coordinate system. This is given by YLM theta phi multiplied by y, this time it is L dash M dash of theta phi theta phi into sine, this is the integral sine theta d theta d phi. This is the condition, normalization condition for the spherical harmonics. We are going to come across this later on. Okay, this is the what this component is called as. This component is nothing but differential element. That is equal to, now this is given by delta L dash, delta M dash. These are the Kronecker delta functions, and that leads you to N, capital N. That gives you capital N. And if it is exclusively calculated, we are going to discuss, as I said, how this comes. That we are going to discuss in the associated Legendre polynomial. So this is given by root of capital N can be calculated by twice L plus 1 into L minus M factorial divided by 4 pi into L plus M factorial. Okay. Now don't worry about this condition. Normalization condition for spherical harmonics is given by this. This is the same condition which we are going to see in the associated Legendre polynomial too. Same condition. So need not worry about this particular thing. So let's go for this particular application. Actually, how these things are with this particular spherical harmonics, we were able to find out different operators like angular momentum operator, LZ operator, or the Z component of that angular momentum operator. Their equations, actually their equations in the quantum mechanics, that is called as operators, and how these operators can be used to find out the orbital quantum number, as well as how this spherical harmonics and this orbital quantum number and this operator, how they are related to each other. All these things can be learned with the following example. Okay, so let's go for this physical significance of this small l and m which we have chosen earlier. Okay, so physical significance of this L and M. Already I am known, we have discussed this here, that this L is related to orbital angular quantum number and M is related to orbital magnetic quantum number. So L and M, whatever we use in vector atom model, these are the same. So we have to go for its significance. Now classically angular momentum is defined as okay, this is defined as L operator is equal to R bar cross P bar. Okay, L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar. This is cross product of R bar and P bar, linear momentum, that gives you angular momentum. Now in quantum mechanics, the momentum operator, some of you might be knowing this, you have used this operator last year. Operator P bar is given by minus I into h cross multiplied by del bar. This is a vector operator. P bar is given by minus I into h cross into del bar, and therefore angular momentum, above equation, angular momentum L bar can be written as minus I h cross. Now this is R bar cross del bar. This is again cross product, minus I h cross into R bar cross del bar. Okay, this is what I have written. This is the angular momentum operator in Cartesian coordinates. Now if I replace this del bar in the spherical polar coordinate system, I can write this angular momentum operator in the spherical coordinates as follows. Okay, so in spherical coordinates, in spherical coordinates. Now look at this. We will learn more about this in quantum mechanics. So we are just taking this thing as a coordinate. This is L bar is given by minus I h cross into, now get this is to be it is E phi cap. This is the del bar. If del bar is written in case of this spherical polar coordinates, and R bar, if its cross product is obtained, this gives the E phi cap into delta upon delta theta minus E theta cap. Okay, sorry, I have to scratch this. So this is given by E theta cap. Okay, this is this E theta cap is the normal vector or unit normal vector in case of this theta direction. So it is given by 1 upon sine theta into delta upon delta phi. So this is the cross product of R bar cross V bar in the spherical polar coordinate system. This comes like this. That is to be understood. So this is the L operator in the spherical polar coordinate system. Okay, so this is important operator in quantum mechanics. Important operator in QM. More about this when you learn all these things there in quantum mechanics, you will come across this. Apart from that, there is L square. Okay, so square of this, that is L square operator. Okay, L square, angular momentum square operator. If it is calculated, this comes to be minus h cross square into product of these two. So this is E phi cap into delta upon delta theta minus E theta cap into 1 upon sine theta multiplied by delta upon delta phi dot. Now this I h cross into minus I h cross into minus I h cross is plus I square h cross square, and therefore plus h cross plus I square is minus 1, so it is minus h cross square, and dot product of same thing again. Okay, so E phi cap into delta upon delta theta minus E theta cap into 1 upon sine theta into delta upon delta phi. So use simple operations of dot product. Now dot product of, see, this is orthogonal coordinate system. I think you might be knowing this. Orthogonal coordinate system. So what is orthogonal? Spherical polar coordinate system. Orthogonal means E theta cap dot E phi cap is equal to 0. E theta cap dot E theta cap is equal to 1. Just like I dot j is equal to 0 in in our Cartesian coordinate system, I dot j, j dot k, k dot I, etc. equal to 0. Here also E theta cap into E phi cap is equal to 0 because they are mutually perpendicular, whereas E theta cap dot E theta cap is equal to 1. So we have to use all these conditions to calculate this type of dot product, and finally we will get this equation as, okay, I am not doing in between steps, but you can understand. This is h cross square into the bracket 1 upon sine theta into delta upon delta theta of the bracket sine theta into delta upon delta theta my plus 1 upon sine square theta, this product sine square theta into delta square upon delta phi square. So this is the L square operator in the spherical polar coordinate system. So try to understand, this is L operator and this is L square operator, which is obtained by taking L bar dot L bar. Okay, and one more very important operator in the LZ, okay, Z component of this, and Z component of angular momentum operator. Okay, quantum mechanics. We are going to write this operator now in the Cartesian coordinate system, and then we are going to express this in the spherical polar coordinate system. Z component of angular momentum is given by Lz cap or Lz bar is equal to simply Ez dot L bar, and if it is calculated, that gives you simply minus I h cross into delta upon delta phi. deva upon deva phi. So this is the z component of angular momentum operator. For that you have to take the z Ez dot L bar. So multiplied by this dot multiplication, and this also gives you to be minus IH cross into deva upon deva phi. Okay, and now let's prove. Let's above prove this. Whatever things we have discussed here, prove above results. Prove above results. Actually, this is the part of the quantum mechanics, but we are doing for our understanding. Results for L square and Lz cap. Okay, so let's prove this. Let's operate these operators on our spherical harmonics. When these operators are operated on the spherical harmonics, that YLM, what we are supposed to get is that we are going to give this orbital angular quantum number and the spin angular quantum number. So this L and M, whatever we have defined earlier, these are nothing but orbital angular quantum number and spin angular quantum number, and this is what its physical significance is. So let's operate this L square on YLM theta phi. That gives you minus h cross square. Let's operate this entire thing. 1 upon sine theta into deva upon deva theta. I am just writing this L square in the bracket. This is sine theta into, now this is to be operated deva of YLM of theta phi divided by deva theta. This is my first term, plus 1 upon sine square theta of multiplied by deva square of YLM theta and phi divided by deva phi square. Okay, so when this L square operator is operated on this spherical harmonics YLM theta phi, what we get is this. Okay, theoretically we get this as L into L plus 1 into H cross, okay, multiplied by YLM theta phi again. So this is operator operated on wave function, and this is called as eigenvalue. So I am getting this YLM theta phi with this particular coefficient L into L plus 1 into H cross. That means when I operate this L square on this spherical harmonics, I should get this, and in fact I get this. And when I operate this another operator Lz on this YLM theta phi on this spherical harmonics, when this operator is operated, I will get minus IH cross into deva of YLM theta phi divided by deva phi. This Lz operator for this, and that gives you in fact it gives you, actually we are not calculating all these things here, I into H cross, then capital N multiplied by deva e raised to I m phi, this is e raised to I m phi divided by deva phi, and now this PL of cos theta. Now I am writing this to be PL of M of cos theta. So once again, let's get, we are operating this deva phi of YLM M of theta phi, and we are getting this type of product because YLM theta phi already we have written that, and using that we will get this is a solution of the function here. Okay, or further we can go for this again, quantum mechanics can be shown. This is minus IH cross into capital N multiplied by IM, okay, differentiating this into e raised to IM phi and multiplied by PLM of cos theta, and PLM of theta, not of cos theta, PLM of theta, or that is nothing but simply M into H cross. Okay, this becomes I minus I plus I minus I square, and that is plus 1, and simply M comes there, M into H cross multiplied by YLM and again it is theta and phi. So this is an eigenvalue. Okay, remember now by operating these two operations, what we get, this is a wave function. It won't have any dimensions. This angular momentum h cross has dimensions of angular momentum, so these are purely numbers. L into L plus 1 is a number, so L into L plus 1 into h cross totally becomes a eigenvalue of angular momentum, orbital angular momentum, where this L is called as orbital quantum number, and this psi L m theta phi is the spherical harmonic. So operating this operator on this y L m theta phi, I am getting this eigenvalue L into L plus 1 into h cross, that is angular momentum, if h cross is along there. If only I take L into L plus 1, this is going to be a pure number, and this is nothing but orbital angular quantum number, and this wave function or this particular spherical harmonics y L m theta phi remains as it is. So operating this operator or this spherical harmonics, I am getting this is the orbital angular momentum quantum number. Similarly, when I operate this Lz operator on this spherical harmonics y L m theta phi, what I am getting is this is the spin angular momentum. So we can write here, this is orbital angular momentum. Orbital angular momentum. So in case of hydrogen atom, how to get orbital angular momentum quantum mechanically? That is what we have to operate this L square operator on this spherical harmonics, we get orbital angular momentum. And similarly here, this is the spin angular momentum. Spin angular momentum, that is what operate this Lz quantum mechanical operator on this spherical harmonics. After this operation, we will get eigenvalue which is going to be spin angular momentum, and out of that this m is nothing but the spin angular quantum number, and whereas above L is the orbital angular quantum number. Okay, thus small l is orbital angular quantum number. Orbital angular quantum number, and this small m is orbital magnetic quantum number. Quantum number, and conditions we are already known. L should be greater than or equal to 0 all the time, and this ml or m should be equal to this modulus of L. Okay, these are the conditions from quantum mechanics. Same conditions are followed here, and that we have written earlier there. So we'll write last statement here. This y L m theta phi is the angular part, of a state with angular momentum of magnitude, Okay. It is given by the root of L into L plus 1 into h cross, quantum mechanical, and simply like that, and its z component is simply m into h cross. So the diagrams you might have drawn earlier, this vector atom diagram you might have drawn. So m decides, so once n is fixed, L can be take value to be 0 to n minus 1, and once L is fixed, ml can take values from minus L to plus L. Okay, so for example, when I go for n equal to 1, I get L is equal to simply 0, and ml is also simply equal to 0. So this is my spherical orbit, or this is my y 0 0. L is 0, m is 0, so 0, and this is here we are writing theta phi. This is my first spherical harmonics, n equal to 1. Now when I go for n equal to 2, I go for L equal to 0 and 1. from the knowledge of atomic and molecular spectra, I know that L varies from 0 to 1, and ml takes values. For L equal to 0, ml is equal to 0. For L equal to 1, ml can have values -1, 0 and +1, and therefore I am in the second orbit, n equal to 2. One part is this spherical, and remaining two parts, that means these three, -1, 0 and +1. So number of different types of solutions are possible here, like this, elliptical. Okay, so and that's why configuration we write here has to be simply 1s2. Now here 2s2 and 2p6. So this is what your spherical harmonics. Why? Then it is L is equal to 0, m is equal to 0. This is one exact spherical part of this, theta phi, and remaining will be y. This is 1 and 0, then y -1 and 0, and third one is y, this 0 and this 1 and 0, 1 and 0, -1 and 0, and third one is no, there are three parts. L has 0, 0, this is one taken here, then -1, 1 -1, 1 0 and 1 +1. This is ml value, -1, this is 0 and +1. So there are four orbits are possible, 2s square and 2p6, so 2px, 2py and 2pz, and these are the three orbits, equations of all these three orbits. These are represented by the spherical harmonics there. Likewise, you can go for third calculation again. So n is equal to 3, we have L is equal to 0, 1 and 2, and for each L value we will have ml is equal to 0. Next L value we will have -1, 0 and 1, and finally we will have ml for this 2 equal to -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. So 2, then 6 electrons, then there are 10 electrons are possible, and total is now going to be 18, and that's what we go for number of electrons combined by contained by an orbit given 2n square. So all these things are found to be possible there, and therefore we will have several. L equal to 0, m is equal to 0, so that's why we will have y0, 0, this is first, then L equal to 0, this is 1. Now y is equal to 1, ml is equal to -1, y is equal to 1, ml is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, and this is also equal to 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 separate orbits are possible for these 4, and remaining are now from y equal to 2, y of 2, that is L equal to 2, and ml is equal to -2, y 2 and -1, y is 2 and this is 0, y is 2 and 1, and y is 2 and 2. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and therefore this contains total number of electrons is 18. This contains total number of electron is simply 8, and earlier contains simple number of total number of electrons is 2, and that's how we can draw all these orbits. So all y, l, m, if they are plotted, we get nothing but the orbits of the hydrogen atom, or the electrons in the hydrogen atom, for n equal to 1, for n equal to 2, for n equal to 3, and this is the actual application of the spherical harmonics. Actually this is not part of our syllabus, but unless we go for its application in the quantum mechanics, we do not understand what this spherical harmonics is. So here we have finished this particular concept of spherical harmonics. In the next lecture we will go actually now for this associated legendary polynomial or associated legendary differential equation, how solution of that can be obtained, and what are its properties like orthogonality, what is the property of its generating function, what is the Rodrigues formula for that. All usual things we will going to discuss in next lecture when we meet there. Okay, so let me stop here. Thank you.